until I found a place where I could exist together with them and completely apart from them. Letting go of the idea that I had to have one identity, one way to describe myself, one real me, hasn't left me any less confused about who I am. But it has certainly left me inspired, engaged, interested, complicated, and aware. And I'd rather be all of those things than just plain old American or plain old Arab. With the exception of my birth in Boston and a year and a half-ish stint in Palo Alto and then Southern California, I spent the first 13 years of my life in an apartment building on Morningside Drive between West 119th and 120th Streets. My father was a teacher of English and comparative literature at Columbia University. I learned to pronounce that impressive-sounding title at the age of 4, though I had no idea what it meant. When people asked me what my daddy's job was, I'd wrap my brain in articulators around the phrase with great effort and draw it out. I did recognize the word Columbia, and I knew what that was. The park where we played after school and on weekends. I also knew that he did something in an office in that campus park. To very smart people who study a lot, Edward Said is the father of post-colonial studies. Or as he told me once, when he insisted I was wasting my college education by taking a course on postmodernism, and I told him he didn't even know what it was. Know what it is, Najla? I invented it. I still don't know if he was joking or serious. To others, he's the author of Orientalism, the book that everyone reads at some point in college, whether in history, politics, Buddhism, or literature class. He wrote it when I was 4. As he explained once when I pressed him to put it into simple English, the basic concept is that, historically, through literature and art, the East, as seen through a Western lens, becomes distorted and degraded, so that anything other than what we Westerners recognize as familiar is not just exotic, mysterious, and sensual, but also inherently inferior. You know, like Aladdin. It's mainly because of my father that people now say Asian American instead of Oriental. To other people, he is the symbol of Palestinian self-determination, a champion of human rights, equality, and social justice, a humanist who spoke truth to power. And then still, other people insist he was a terrorist, though anyone who knew him knows that's kind of like calling Gandhi a terrorist. To me, he was my daddy, a dapper man in 3-piece suits tailor-made in London, a cute old guy who yelled at me passionately in his weird, sometimes British, sometimes American accent, and then 5 minutes later, forgot he had been upset. The one who brought me presents from all over the world, talked to me about Jane Eyre, my favorite book when I was 12, and held me when I cried. He played tennis and squash, drove a Volvo, smoked a pipe, and collected pens. He was a professor. He was my father. I always considered myself a daddy's girl, and he would have agreed. Daddy and I were temperamental soulmates, artistic, dramatic, needy, sensitive, and completely inept at mundane tasks, such as paying bills, or even opening them. But as a child, I was in fact completely awed by and maybe even scared of Daddy. I have really strong memories of being petrified when the door of his study was closed and I would hear the furious click, clack, ding of his IBM typewriter. Maybe I sensed that he was writing, as Nassim Rajwan in the Jerusalem Post put it, an important book that was bound to usher in a new epoch in the world's attitude toward Oriental studies and Oriental scholarship. But all I knew was that when he was in there, I was afraid. And when he emerged, there would be a moment of apprehension. I'd feel out his mood, and usually, if I was lucky, he'd shower me with love and praise in his uniquely expressive and melodic voice. My mother is the beautiful, kind woman who took care of me. She was born in Beirut, Lebanon, and came from an enormous, loving, and prestigious family. She was the constant, steady presence in my childhood.